working with kids. And this little kid, little black hair, you know, little Whoopi Goldberg hairdo, you know. And she put her hand up and she says, "Excuse me, sir, do you know a story of a black princess?" And my heart sank. I didn't know one at the time, but they are African stories. I didn't know one. But I realized she wanted to hear, you know, a story that looked like, you know, like her, a character that looked like her. She knew all the Cinderellas and the Snow Whites and all those beautiful stories, but she never heard a story about a princess that looked like her. So I said to myself, I'm going to go write a story about a black princess, not only for her, but for all children. And that's how the Nutmeg Princess came about. I read you a story called The Nutmeg Princess. Now, once upon a time, on a little island in the Caribbean called the Isle of Spice, there lived a little old lady way up in the mountains called Petite Mama. Now, although Petite Mama was tiny, she was a strong woman, and she owned lots of land way up in the mountains, filled with every tropical fruit you can think of. Now, so when these fruits would be in season, right, she would pick them, load them onto her donkey-drawn cart, and she would wrap her head in a beautiful colored scarf, put on her wide-brimmed straw hat, and down the mountain she would come to sell her fruits, because nobody was coming up the mountain to buy from Petite Mama. They all thought Petite Mama was a witch. Oh, yes, but that didn't scare Petite Mama or bother Petite Mama. People would come from all over just to buy her fruits. Now, way up past the fruit trees were her nutmeg trees, her choicest crop. Now, way past the nutmeg trees, in the middle of a volcano, is a lake. And Petite Mama says on this lake lives a young black girl. Petite Mama calls her the Nutmeg Princess, because she would only appear when the nutmeg is in bloom and the sweet smell of the spices in the air. Petite Mama says she's the most beautiful princess you have ever seen. Big eyes, a beautiful smile, and she has hundreds of tiny braids in her hair. And the end of each braid hangs a dewdrop that looks like a diamond.